Welcome to TMZ Live. Something absolutely shocking has come our way involving Taylor Frankie Paul from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, The Bachelorette. And I got to tell you, I don't know that The Bachelorette is ever going to see the light of day after what we found out about their custody battle.
Yeah, we know there were serious discussions at ABC about actually airing the season sometime this summer, but yeah, it's got to be in question because the Department of Children and Family Services is very concerned about her parenting or the lack thereof based on this document that they filed. And in fact, they are so concerned, they actually want jurisdiction to decide what happens in her custody battle, I should say custody battles, with Dakota Mortensen and also with Tate, who is the father of her other two children.
So right now, her respective custody battles are in family court, and that's where it normally is. That's where parents hash out who gets custody. It's normal. That's standard. For the Department of Children's Services, not only to come into court and participate in the decision on whether Taylor gets custody.
That part's normal.
Normally, they don't get involved. If there's something really rancorous, maybe they will. But for them to actually go in and not just go in and participate, but to say, we want jurisdiction because we are so concerned that these kids may be neglected or abused that we want to make sure that there is a guardian in place, that there is supervision, and that's what they're aiming for in these documents that we got.
So part of what we've seen in these documents is that their DCFS officers have observed things that make them very concerned. Observed things with Taylor's interaction with her kids and the fact that the way they described her oldest, her daughter, is actually taking care of, and when we say taking care of, we mean changing diapers, preparing baby formula for the younger children. The oldest is, I believe, 11. 11 or maybe 12. Now, that alone, you might say, well, older kids may help out. But then there are other things that they said they've observed.
Well, they also referenced the video that we put up, which is her throwing chairs, bar stools at Dakota,
right,
and inadvertently hitting one of the kids. Right. And so, look, this is alarming that DCFS wants jurisdiction over this case. And you got to wonder if ABC in particular is going to say, well, the chairs were kind of a one-off, people have forgotten it. This is saying there's a real concern about the way she's handling her kids.
Yeah.
How does ABC go forward and air The Bachelorette with that backdrop?
And what's interesting is the timing. I mean, the last report we did on where ABC stood with Taylor and the season was that they were looking, at least internally at the network, they were telling people that they were looking at a target date of July. Well, we're now in mid-July.
How can that
now
be?
This DCFS report comes out. You have to wonder. I mean, at this point, until they have a hearing.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem. So if ABC aired this thing beginning, say, I don't know, next week, and then all of a sudden DCFS gets the case and they make a finding that
she's not a fit parent and that they take the kids away from her.
How are they running the show that way?
Because that becomes the headline about Taylor Frankie Paul, not anything going on with the show. And then when the show comes on, it is fraught.
I'll go one step further. That they've already been kind of embarrassed because this video existed before they cast her in this show.
Right.
So
you could say, look, that's something that had happened a year and a half before they were even filming with her. And even that was too much for them.
It was too much
go
for
forward.
them. So
this is something that is happening right now.
That's right. And because they'd been embarrassed once by something that happened a year and a half ago, to then be embarrassed by something that's presently going on, not only it feels like not only would ABC back away from it, but what are they doing with Mormon Wives? That Mormon Wives is now, they're shooting with her again, and this is coming out.
Yeah.
The chat is saying that at the end of the day, it's a reality show, and that if the main star of the show is this problematic or has this many issues around her, you just have to take the L if you're The Bachelor.
Yeah. I mean, that may be where ABC ends up.
You see, maybe there's a difference that The Bachelorette, it's sort of like you're putting these unsuspecting guys in a situation with this woman who's presenting herself as all nice and whatnot, and it's a different picture that you're getting elsewhere.
And allegedly, I think she would say it's allegedly a different picture.
Well, we saw video.
Yes, you're talking about, but I'm talking about these allegations in the DCFS report.
True.
Because
Right.
to Taylor,
her side,
people close to her are saying that, one, they're pretty disgusted that this DCFS
report
document was leaked out to us. Saying it involves children. This is clearly in the interest of one person. Obviously, they're hinting at Dakota and Tate. And they've always, all along, maintained that from her side, they feel like that this is a smear campaign from the other side. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of evidence and there's a lot of stuff. And like you've said, the fact that DCFS has now filed this with juvenile court is a big deal.
Well, and my understanding is your Taylor sources are saying this is typical. I've never seen this. I've never seen a case. I'm sure it exists, but it seems highly unusual that DCFS would go to a family law judge and say, I know it's your job to handle custody, but this is so serious that we want to make the decision. I've just not seen that.
I've not seen anything like that.
Hi, my name is Tara from Orange County, California. I think this situation, no matter how you look at it, is extremely sad. It's extremely sad to have children caught up in the middle of such contentious relationships. That should never happen. And I believe that we can all agree that Taylor has done things that have landed her in this situation, and this is the consequence of it. But Personally, I don't believe that this is without being provoked. I am happy to see that she is responding to DCFS in a positive manner and that she is having a positive attitude. I'm interested to see what comes out and why DCFS is making such a strong stance. And of course, with The Bachelorette coming up, being on and off, I'm interested to see what they're going to do.
Yeah. By the way, I want to correct something earlier. Her oldest is only 8. So that does change.
I thought it was 11 too.
That changes the picture of an 8-year-old caring for.
I thought it was 11
kids.
as well. Wow.
Yeah. An unwanted visitor at the Today Show this morning, one who terrified the staff because of what he did when he got backstage.
Which is crazy, right?
That someone was able to get backstage at 30 Rock while they were still doing the show, mind you. And this individual, according to our law enforcement sources, this person got backstage and went looking for Al Roker, but ran into Craig Melvin. And at that point, hurled a racial epithet at him, said the N-word, and then lunged at him. And at that point, security jumps in. But the fact that this person got anywhere backstage where he could have had access to anybody on the staff is really alarming at NBC. And the talk we are hearing, there's going to be some changes.
Yeah, so
on their security team.
We have talked to people who are actually, connected to the Today Show, and the words we got were heads are going to roll. That the idea that somebody was able to breach security this way, and you can't ignore the fact of what happened to Savannah this year. That it's so alarming and tragic what happened to her. The idea that there would be a security breach of this level, because remember, they are already kind of exposed to the public by going out into the courtyard.
They're exposed in the courtyard. They're exposed even when they're in their studio, being in Rockefeller Center.
It's all glass.
It's all glass. And also there are a lot of other buildings connected, offices connected. There's retail out there. There's a lot of tourists that go around the area. So their security
should be tight.
Should be tight.
And so the guy was arrested. He's in custody. Nobody was hurt, thankfully, at the Today Show. But this is really, really stunning that something like this happened.
What we're told, this happened around 9 o'clock. So they were still on the air. And in fact, this photo here, this is the image as Craig went back out to the studio. Again, he was okay, but we believe this is him explaining to everyone what had just happened. So that's the look of shock on their faces. But they were, back on the air doing the show and never let on as to what had happened backstage. But a very dramatic morning that will be consequential for somebody on the staff there.
Hi, I'm Jillian from Northern Virginia. I think it's great that the intruder got arrested. I think that he fully got everything he was asking for, because to go into a seemingly well-securityed area, I think you must have a lot of racism boiling up inside of you. And Black people lose their lives every day just for being Black. So there needs to be more than just a typical slap on the wrist punishment.
Well, something's going to happen to this guy. I don't know what the charge would be. I would assume it's going to be assault because he lunged at Craig, and trespass for sure. I don't know whether that will end up being felony, misdemeanor. It may well be misdemeanor just because nobody got hurt, thankfully.
Coming up.
I did not know the number 4 was so triggering.
Especially on a golf course, you think it would be fine.
Yeah.
But NFL great Jerry Rice took issue with a fan who decided to yell not only for, but it's not even so much what he yelled, it's when he yelled it.
Be right back.
I did not know the number 4 was so triggering.
Especially on a golf course, you think it would be fine.
Yeah.
But NFL great Jerry Rice took issue with a fan who decided to yell not only for, but it's not even so much what he yelled, it's when he yelled it. So Jerry was playing over the weekend in Tahoe. Last weekend was playing in Tahoe in the American Century Championship. It's a pro-am they do every year. A lot of huge athletes in it, and they get a lot of crowds going there to see them. So Jerry is about to tee off, is what you're going to see here.
Boy, he is about to tee off.
But you know the rule, like even if you don't golf, you know the rule is that
you don't say anything.
You don't yell anything when they're in their backstroke. Well, Jerry's in his backstroke and they yelled, and then he reminded him that he's an NFL great, and even at his age, he can still get after it.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Hey, yo, hey.
Oh, go get him, Jerry. Go get him, Jerry. Go get him, Jerry.
Which one?
So wait a minute. Wait. So he.
Hold on. Let's see. I know what you're going to say, but he keeps going. We want to see how
he goes a far distance.
I don't know if he ever
this guy.
actually got to the guy. He must have because. He wouldn't.
But
he wouldn't
hold
turn
on.
back around.
I want to do something.
You want to play it again?
I want to play it again
because. Are you going to try to defend this heckler?
All I'm going to say is he had already committed. He had already committed to this swing. It wasn't like.
And that's when you. That's exactly
no,
when
but
you
watch.
can't yell.
No, watch this again.
All right, we're going to play it again
because he was already committed to the swing.
It's before the 4. He said something before 4.
I didn't hear anything before.
Yeah,
play it one more time.
There's no interference.
There's something, and then there's more.
Okay, you're right, but hold on. I want to just.
You want one more time?
Oh, give me is there you have a stick here or something?
And to the left.
You want a stick or something?
What do you want?
I don't know. Okay, so
we have a golf club.
We had a golf club.
Okay, hold on. I mean, we did have a golf club here.
We broke it.
Some sports. He's sort of like. No, hold on, guys.
All right, so
he's sort of like this when somebody said that. Okay, so he hadn't started swinging. So he could have stopped and looked at the guy, but he didn't. So the guy made that sound. Then he swings, and when he's here, the guy says 4.
Right.
So the guy did not interrupt the swing.
Yes, he did.
He could have
made
stopped.
a noise in the
He could have
background.
stopped.
There was no interference.
That's right.
I can't believe you guys are defending the heckler.
It's a troll.
You are really defending
Right.
the heckler.
Yes.
This guy made a noise in his backswing. It's supposed to be silent.
But he didn't have to commit to swinging. He could have stopped when he had the backswing and said, stop it. But he didn't. He swung. The guy said 4. There was no interference.
I'm with you.
Okay.
And Jerry was gone 30.
The chat
Jerry
agrees
Rice.
with me. This is you have to wait for the secrets of this week to be over. You can't just like go out and say something.
It was a done deal.
Over.
It was a done deal. It was a done. Watch.
Yes, but
done.
But if you golf, you understand that is the most infuriating thing.
You know
That
what
is a very good reaction.
This is
that
sour
is a base
grapes.
reaction.
Sour grapes because he didn't get the shot he wanted.
Well, maybe he's not very good. He wasn't very good. He didn't finish very well.
the shot he won.
If he wasn't playing
that
well,
great.
so it's sort of an excuse.
Yeah, it's like rubbing salt in the wound.
I think we have analyzed this like the Zapruder film, and I think we have come out with a clear conclusion that it is on Jerry and not
went
the
back,
handler.
and then the ball shanked to the left. Back to the left.
Tammy from San Diego, California. So Harvey, I'm actually on Jerry's side. Celebrities and athletes, they sign up to be for attention, but they don't sign up to be heckled. So there's a huge difference between asking for an autograph and then trying to embarrass someone just for a reaction. So did Jerry overreact? Maybe, but at some point we have to stop acting like celebrities are just supposed to tolerate being disrespected just because they're famous.
It's not even a celebrity thing. This is a golf etiquette thing, okay? Even if you're not famous and you're on the golf course, you don't do that.
Okay, but no harm, no foul as far as I'm concerned.
Very sad loss today for the Kardashians. The matriarch of the family has passed away, Kris Jenner's mom, MJ, who longtime viewers of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, back when they were just on cable before streaming, MJ was featured on the show a lot, and she was very much a member of the family that, was on that ride to their superstardom. And
in a
she
way,
played a role.
Not just a role, I think a really critical role, that a lot of what the Kardashians have done successfully is it's the way they present themselves to the public. And a few years back, I did a show called Objectified, and Kris Jenner was one of the people I talked to for the show. And she made a point of talking about her mom. And the way she explained it really stuck with me, because what I realized was her mom was the North Star for a lot of the success of the Kardashians that you see today.
I think my mom and my grandmother were very much alike because they were workaholics. They loved to work, they loved business, they loved fashion. So they kind of, taught me, and then I taught my kids, I guess, that, it's the way you present yourself to the world. It was very important to my mom, to get up in the morning and, put on her, Sunday best, and my grandmother would say, I can't go anywhere until I put my face on.
She was a fashionista.
So,
your
yeah.
mom.
And to this day, if I see my mom and she's not dressed to the nines, it would be like, are you okay?
So
Yeah.
MJ was the OG.
MJ was the OG.
Truly
No, it's
the
true.
OG. I mean, if you know the Kardashians, the Jenners, you know MJ. I mean, she is the mogul of it all, such an icon. It's obviously such a devastating loss. She had her own child clothing brand too, so she really was like the OG businesswoman. And
So
it's just so sad
yeah,
to
I
hear.
mean, she's the one who set the whole thing in motion in a way. I mean,
And the great thing is she was able to watch
Chris's
it.
mind.
And she was able to watch it, and they were super close. Like super close,
I mean,
all
they
of
look
them.
just like each other.
Yeah.
She's like a clone.
Yeah.
Katie Pope, Los Angeles, California. This is a family of matriarchs, and MJ was the original, or maybe her mother was the original. I loved her on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and you could see exactly where Kris and the family got their warmth. This is a huge loss, and sending thoughts and prayers, but it looks like she lived a very full life, and she got to see her family become wildly successful, and that's a beautiful thing.
Can you imagine for her the pride and just to see and the amazement at how big, I mean, they are global, a global brand.
They are a global brand.
Coming up.
Something happened on the Senate floor Tuesday involving none other than the Senate Minority Leader, Chuck Schumer.
Senator Jacob with TMZ, did you fart yesterday on the Senate floor?
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Donnell Rawlings took TMZ DC on a city tour.
You know what the irony of this is? A black man takes a white person to the White House.
It's TMZ.
There is a lot going on in Washington, D.C. We are in the middle of a war. There are huge problems with the economy. The president
is going to speak
tonight and express his grievances about the 2020 election. There's a lot going on. But something happened on the Senate floor on Tuesday. But something happened on the Senate floor Tuesday involving none other than the Senate Minority Leader, Chuck Schumer. And We needed to get to the bottom of this.
And we did. So we're going to show you what Jacob got in D.C. in just a moment. But first, this is the incident on the Senate floor.
And we need a complete investigation that's independent. Now, on Iran and the NDAA, when all the Trump administration...
Ironically, he was talking about calling for an investigation.
And we took him up on it.
And we did. So what you heard
there was a big thing where he walked down the stairs and a lot of reporters were asking about Iran war, about the economy.
Now we're talking about today.
Today.
So after that happened yesterday.
Today. And Jacob was able to buttonhole Senator Schumer. Buttonhole.
Got it.
And here's how it went
You
down.
shouldn't be so proud of your puns.
Is there any
Senator,
to invalidate the election certificates of Senator Ossoff and Senator Warnock?
Senator Jacob with TMZ, did you fart yesterday on the Senate floor?
Hard pass.
Hard
pass on that question. But I gotta say, Jacob, Jacob's joining us from DC now. Tough assignment this morning.
But short, sweet, to the point.
Maybe not sweet.
You know what? It was a missed opportunity for him. He's not very popular among young people, and he could have used this moment for some comic relief. He could have just said, hey, we shouldn't be stigmatizing farting. Everyone does it. And he could have turned around and said something like, you know what, I did it. Like, am I the first guy to fart on the Senate floor? Heck no. But instead, he decided to pile into his car. And I think that was a missed opportunity.
Now, so, Jacob, let's talk about...
He could have said, I knew I shouldn't have had Taco Bell.
Exactly. The possibilities are endless.
You're right.
And by the way, I can't remember if it was you or Charlie who got Tim Burchett today, and he made a joke and he said anybody over 61 should have a pass with gas.
Perfect line.
There were a number of ways he could have gone. So, Jacob, I want to talk to you about the other part of this. That's what the senator could have said. I want to talk about you working up to go ask this question. Because as we said, there were a bunch of reporters who were there. They were asking him about the president's address tonight and what he's going to say. And how did you formulate? Now, you and I had a conversation this morning.
And Jacob and I had a conversation as well.
Exactly. So I will admit
about this very subject.
Jacob, what did we say? Because we had we came up with a slightly more subtle way to go.
Yeah,
maybe you did.
Now, I'm working through the process this morning.
I believe the line of questioning was going to be, do you want to address the farting reports?
Yes. Do you want to address the farting reports?
Is that what you said?
Right. That was the address the farting reports. But then you got on the phone with him.
And just ask it, man.
And said, just ask, did you fart?
Yeah.
Listen, we like to feel things out around here.
Yeah. No, it's a process.
Yeah, and he was just giving a pretty impassioned speech. People were following up with reasonable questions on the topic that he was discussing. And then after answering two, he made way to his car, and then I dipped around back and let it rip.
Yeah.
What you
See
did.
what you did there?
So, look, it's not a segment without you complaining. So,
go ahead.
How's the weather?
File your grievance.
How's the weather?
It's beyond miserable. I actually learned, I think people who fought in the Revolutionary War on the British side were paid stipends to live in D.C. because it was such awful weather here. I love D.C., but it really is just as bad as it can get in terms of weather in July. So that's unfortunate. I do want to bring up one other point, if I may. So afterwards, when I asked the farting question, excuse me?
Nothing, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Unbelievable. So afterward, someone came up to me and said, way to exercise your First Amendment right. And I was like, hey, man, that's what we're here for, right?
Did a little First Amendment.
Was that a reporter?
Or a civilian?
I don't want to reveal my sources. I'm a man of pride and honor.
Was it a reporter or a civilian?
I'll just say as a broader news organization, someone
in the media. Someone in the media.
Yeah,
we're not asking for a name.
Did he? Well, hold on. Did he fist bump you?
we gave kind of like a head bump, a head nod of acknowledgement, you know, like one of the like a stand with you.
Hey, man.
All right, man.
Hey, one of the great decisions was moving you there, I got to say.
Happy to be here. Love it.
No, you're not. You complained. Before we started this segment, you were complaining.
He's playing it up real nice now.
Ad nauseum, you were complaining.
Listen, that's just a part of the equation. It's all about how you net, and it's a net positive.
Wow. It's all about how you net. So he's rationalized
100%.
all of his complaints. Wow.
Oh,
all right,
my
thanks,
God.
Jacob.
Coming up.
Gleb Savchenko, the Dancing with the Stars pro, we told you was in this custody battle with his ex, Elena. Well, it has gotten even deeper now because we knew about the issues with Olivia, their older daughter, but now we've learned there's also an issue with the younger daughter, Zlata, and it involves a trip to Russia.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. Gleb Savchenko, the Dancing with the Stars pro, we told you was in this custody battle with his ex, Elena. Well, it has gotten even deeper now because we knew about the issues with Olivia, their older daughter, who is now here in the States with Gleb.
Was living in Hong Kong with her mom.
Right.
And didn't want to go back to Hong Kong.
Right. But now we've learned there's also an issue with the younger daughter, Zlata. And it involves a trip to Russia. We believe this was earlier this month when Elena took Zlata to Moscow for, I believe it was a funeral, right? And the issue is that Gleb's lawyers were wondering, did you get permission from Gleb to travel to Russia with Zlata? And what we obtained is a screenshot of a WhatsApp conversation between Elena and Gleb's lawyers. And you can see they're going back and forth. The lawyers, that's in green, are asking, is Zlata with you? Did you get permission? She never really answers. She does say that she had sent documents to Gleb's attorneys, to a different attorney than the one who's texting with her, obviously. But she never answers whether or not this is
we should explain
something that Gleb really approved.
This is actually a very common and contentious part of custody arrangements where parents have international ties. And what the courts generally do is they will say that you can only take the child out of the United States jurisdiction with the permission of the other parent.
Right.
And usually it'll say the parent has to do that in writing so that it can't be he said, she said.
Right.
And so she didn't answer the question directly. I don't know it, but I'm assuming that the lawyers know it, and she did not get the permission.
Yeah, and in these documents, he also attached like a Find My iPhone screen grab, which shows Elena's location was in Russia. And he also mentioned in there that he, of course, was nervous for his daughter or daughters being out there because of the war that's going on. Gleb and Elena are both originally from Russia. So she had mentioned in that text that she was out there for some kind of family funeral. Obviously, her family is still living there. And there was other mentionings of other trips that were not authorized by Gleb. There was some Vietnam trip that he had mentioned where you could see the girls were posting photos from Vietnam. He also mentioned that possibly the same trip, maybe a different one, where the girls were in Russia and they apparently took a 20-hour bus ride to get there, and they didn't have any phone access, and he didn't know about this until 10 days after they had been on this trip, when the daughter called Gleb from Elena's mother's landline.
So right now, the older daughter is with Gleb in the United States, the younger in Hong Kong, and each wants the other to turn the kid over.
Yes.
Right.
So this is an absolute
And it seems
mess.
like he's making the point that she has been traveling all over the place without getting approval. So, the fact that, and remember, he's saying that Olivia, the older daughter, wants to be here with him.
And if there's a custody battle, she's what, 15?
15.
That the judge is going to really consider her view on it as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Jasmine Ellis out of California. I think this entire story is just so sad, but actually so relatable. These kind of things happen to couples that divorce no matter what their jobs or careers or tax brackets are. I know a couple out of Wichita Falls, Texas that almost had the custody taken away from them when they thought it was bring your daughter to work day, and someone almost got arrested at Pizza Hut. It's happening to everybody, no matter where they are. And it's just sad when parents can't prioritize the kids over their pride or their feelings.
You know what often happens is that when the parents hate each other and they're going after each other a lot, there's a point where they realize how it's damaging the kids, and then all of a sudden the heat gets turned off. Yeah.
Dave Portnoy is getting his war chest together, or at least potentially his war chest, what would be his war chest if he decides to jump into politics. The Barstool founder spoke to us and in another interview about the possibility of running for mayor of New York City. He has made no secret of the fact he does not like Zohran Mamdani's politics, doesn't like him as the mayor. And even though Dave is largely recognized as being a Boston guy, he does live in New York now. And
it wouldn't be the first time something like this would happen in terms of somebody from Boston running in New York.
Right, that's true.
By the way, Robert Kennedy.
This is true. So there's some precedent for this. But is he actually serious? And when we spoke to him, I couldn't really gauge if he was really serious or if he was just griping about...
But he sounds serious
here.
He
does now.
Have you been approached for politics? By real people?
If I wanted to run for mayor of New York, I could have the biggest war chest probably in the history of political war chest. I have billionaire after billionaire willing to fund a campaign if I was going to do it. Yes, serious people. Unsolicited, because no one wants to do it. Who the heck wants to do it?
So here's the thing about this, and I love Dave Portnoy. I think he's brilliant. I think he's an incredible businessman, but he's not and it's not that you have to look for a politician, but somebody who knows the levers of government.
But these days...
From sea to shining sea, Spencer Pratt on the West Coast, and then now Dave on the East Coast, where all of these billionaires, because remember, Spencer had a lot of famous rich people supporting him.
He did.
And the same thing is happening, what Dave is saying.
But the thing that's different with Dave has been running a huge company. So
that's true.
He understands administrative responsibilities.
I agree with you on that.
Which is something Spencer didn't have.
He had none of it.
Right. So
the big issue I feel like is with Dave, he's so unfiltered that he can't really, treat a fellow politician the same way he can treat a bunch of Barstool employees.
Guess who else is unfiltered? Donald Trump.
No.
And he's president.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's certainly a precedent.
It just comes down to The Rock. He could run for president and possibly win too. We have that same argument all the time, but doesn't mean he should. I don't think Dave Portnoy wants this. I really don't. He has all the money in the world. He can do whatever he wants. I don't think he wants to get into this.
Let's face it, guys. It's a flex. That what he's saying is, if I wanted to run, I could win.
Here's why I don't.
And that may be true.
No, but here's why I don't think he's serious. Because if you were seriously thinking about it, you wouldn't do that interview wearing a Red Sox hat. I'm sorry. I understand that there's a precedent of Boston people.
Can I tell you?
But he's got a Red Sox hat on.
Can I tell you? That's the best point you made today. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Coming up.
So Vice President J.D. Vance gets a lot of perks with the job. Some of those perks are going to his family members.
And there are reports that people who are protecting him are none too pleased about it because they feel he's taking advantage.
Be right back.
So Vice President J.D. Vance gets a lot of perks with the job. He gets flown all over the place, and he's done interviews where he's talked about how crazy his life is now as vice president. He's got helicopters at his disposal.
Planes.
He's got planes at his disposal. But apparently, some of those perks are going to his family members, even very young family members.
And there are reports that people who are protecting him are none too pleased about it because they feel he's taking advantage. One report that he wanted Marine 2 to take his son to a golf lesson, which is crazy, but also on brand in the Trump administration because Kash Patel is facing the same criticism. Kristi
flying all
Noem
over the place.
faced the
Kristi
same
Noem
criticism.
did.
So this is going on in the Trump administration.
Right. So according to this MS report, it also claims that some of these Secret Service members have even made pins to commemorate.
To mock him.
So Bobcat is his call sign for the Secret Service, but the OTR is off-the-record travel, which would be for things like family. So it says OTR Survivors Club.
So he kind of addressed it.
Yes. Well, I don't. This was last week. This is J.D. Vance talking about, I think, some of the things that, according to this report, the Secret Service is pissed off about.
My life is, dude, totally transformed. I don't go to the grocery store anymore. People go to the grocery store for me. My life is so weird. I fly around on a 757, no more TSA lines for me and the kids. It's so weird, but it can become the sort of thing that if you internalize it, you start to be an entitled. Yeah.
So some of these Secret Service agents, according to the reports, say he is internalizing
yes.
it.
Coming up.
Guarantee you have never seen video of a first lady or former first lady doing the wobble.
Be right back.
Guarantee you have never seen video of a first lady or former first lady doing the wobble.
I think that's right.
Believe
you're
Michelle
correct.
Obama's cut from a different cloth. She was up at Martha's Vineyard for a charity event held at a very famous restaurant.
They have a place there, don't they? Have a place there.
They do, yeah. Maybe there is stuff there for the summer, but she went to this event at this famed restaurant. Is it Norman's it's called? I've never been to the Vineyard. Have you been?
I've never been.
Well, here is how the First Lady just blended in with everybody else partying that day. Wow.
Melania, your move.
Yeah, Melania.
Your move.
Noman's is the name of the restaurant, but she clearly had a very good time. What does the Secret Service do? I think you were right, Tawana, when they get to the part where they're like, get in there. Secret Service, like, everybody get back. Nobody gets in there.
They should do it with her.
That would be
awesome.
Yeah. There's no way you're going to be at a black function, as you see, there's mostly black people here, and not hear the wobble and see anyone sitting down. You hear that song, and come on, Harvey.
No, we're not doing that.
No. Come on, Harvey.
Harvey's not wobbling.
Homie, don't play that game.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Faith from Utah, and to the girl that got to wobble with Michelle Obama, how does it feel to be living my dream? And can't wait to recreate that fit very soon, Michelle.
Yeah.
No, she's great. She is. She seems so happy to be free of politics.
Yes.
She does.
Absolutely.
What else you guys want to talk about?
Hey, it's Spencer from New York. I'm talking about Chuck Schumer's farting incident.
Yes. We're all ears.
Perfect. This is what happens when you have incontinent geriatrics running the entire country. Congress is just a nursing home with an insider trading wing attached to it.
What if they are? What if they're?
Trading wing.
What if they're doofuses and they're both incontinent and incompetent? That would be.
I think that's his point. I think.
Well, he didn't say incompetent.
By the way, do you know that this is the third oldest Congress we've ever had?
You're kidding.
Yes, the third oldest.
No, actually, that makes sense because when it was a bunch of old white men, it was probably older. One more.
This is Reality Steve in Dallas talking about Taylor Frankie Paul's situation. And my gosh, it feels like it's getting worse for her before it gets better. For somebody who makes her living on social media, it's almost like you can't have it both ways, Taylor. We understand that you're going through a lot, but then you immediately, anytime anybody offers some sort of negative response or even just constructive criticism, it just turns into this back and forth, and she doesn't seem to understand it. She's at the risk of possibly losing her children at this point.
Steve, we're almost out of time, but I know you hear a lot of this stuff that's going on in reality TV before anybody else. Is ABC still going to consider, with all that we're talking about, we're reporting, would they actually put this show on the air? What are you hearing?
Gosh, I keep hearing that it's definitely coming. A start date, we don't know yet, but I still believe it's going to air in 2026.
I would bet you money it's not, but
Well, we'll see.
Not that committed.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming up.
It feels like it's a scene from Baywatch, which is where they're shooting right now off of Pacific Coast Highway. But there is a guy with a felony warrant that the cops wanted to get.
The lifeguards, the Baywatch got him.
They actually swim out there and they hold him until the cops get him.
Be right back.
It feels like it's a scene from Baywatch, which is where they're shooting right now off of Pacific Coast Highway. But there is a guy with a felony warrant that the cops wanted to get, and he's driving on Pacific Coast Highway. Somehow, he decides to bail.
He pulls over, bails, and decides he's going to go swim in the ocean.
So look.
The lifeguards, the Baywatch, got him.
They actually swim out there, and they hold him until the cops get him. Which is crazy, right?
Yeah, and the cops pulled up on a boat. Meanwhile, the lifeguard's like, "Oh, sure, we swim out here, do all this work. You guys just pull up on a boat."
And they pull him in. But the
the
lifeguards did this, which is, I don't know. I think
they need to do a rip from the headlines episode of Baywatch.
Go back there.
Yeah.
Do you see Brooks Nader in this?
No, I do not see.
You don't see Brooks Nader or Olivia Dunn there?
Not yet. Not yet.
I'm telling you, they should just, whatever the script is, rip the damn thing up and do that. Do that. We'll see you tomorrow.